You know his name. Marc Simoncini. He conquered the internet, creating the dating giant, Meetic. But his next empire, built on passion and ambition, led to a financial disaster that cost him 20 million euros. This isn't a story about success. This is a story about the brutal, unpredictable reality of entrepreneurship. It's the rise and fall of Angell bikes, and the painful sacrifice it took to finally turn the page. Angell was born from a deep love, Simoncini's passion for cycling. His vision was simple: build a bike that protects its user. A smart bike with integrated anti-fall alarms, turn signals, and embedded software. It was revolutionary. The market response? Overwhelming. They planned to sell 1,500 units. But pre-orders absolutely exploded beyond 10,000. People dreamed of this bike. To meet demand, they partnered with the industrial giant, SEB, which took about 20% of the capital. It seemed unstoppable. But the reality of manufacturing hit hard. Simoncini knew scaling from 2,000 to 20,000 was a different story. Then, in 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic became their worst nightmare. It inflicted a 6-month delay. Parts from China stopped arriving. Everything was disorganized. Marc Simoncini said, "If it had been a normal business, I would have stopped immediately. With COVID, we were facing in Himalaya. Fueled by passion, they kept fighting, dumping more of their own money in. They managed to get about 2,000 bikes out under dantesque conditions. But in the rush to deliver, they skipped the final step." Simoncini admits the fatal error. They didn't take enough time to test the bike. The result? Design flaws in over 2,800 units. The startup was completely derailed. He was dependent on his manufacturer and had no plan B. Simoncini was at a crossroads. The worst fate for any entrepreneur is liquidation. He'd experienced it before. Back in 1989. He wasn't going to let it happen again. His priority was clear: protect the 19 employees and his customers. This meant a massive personal sacrifice. Rather than liquidate, he handed the company over to a professional repreneur. Rebirth. For a symbolic €1. Marc Simoncini said, "I lost 20 million euros. But I assumed my responsibilities. It was the price to pay to avoid the worst. Everything he invested was lost." He calls it one of the worst days of his entrepreneurial life. But he was relieved. A solution now existed. What did 20-80 days of fighting, with less than 10 good news stories, teach him? First, entrepreneurship is a constant battle. Marc Simoncini said, "If you are not capable of living each day without knowing, in the morning, if you will be dead in the evening, do not become an entrepreneur." Second, resilience, not talent, is the key. And his final 3 pieces of hard-earned advice for the next generation. 1. Don't start a business solely out of passion. 2. Don't believe made in France is automatic added value for the consumer. 3. Be wary of all the advice you receive. It might just discourage you. Simoncini is turning the page. He proved that failure isn't the end. It's often the most expensive, yet most valuable, lesson you can buy, if you're willing to take responsibility. What's the biggest risk you've taken for your passion? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more entrepreneurial lessons from the front lines.